Would everybody please take their hand? To Katie and Yen, health, wealth, and happiness forever. Cheers. Yeah, no, just that there for a second. You didn't kick me away that easy, did you? No chance. No, I just had to do that because I had to prove to people that I could do a short toast or a short speech if I wanted to. I just don't want to. There's also a chance to get you guys to have a drink so that maybe you might have some jokes a little bit later so you can, hopefully they had a good swallow through there. Like Yogi Berra used to say, it kind of feels like deja vu all over again. It seems like it was only yesterday, but actually it was about a year and a half ago. I was in front of quite a few of you doing a toast for my younger daughter, Michelle, telling you all how proud I was of her. And tonight I get to do it again. Michelle, I'm really proud of you. And speaking of Michelle, she's not quite done with her toast yet. She's still working on it, so she asked me to stay up here a little bit longer. I said, no problem. We can do that. In case you haven't figured it out, I'm Jim. My favorite daughter is over there. She's the one in all white. And she's the one with that real sick look on her face right now, like, what's my dad about to say about me? And how embarrassing is this going to be? Katie. So many stories, so little time. Anyhow, I have 3 goals tonight. First of all, try not to suck. I just found out on the internet that the Father Bride speech kind of sets the tone for the whole night, and that's just what I needed, more pressure. Number 2 is stick to my agenda, or outline. As you can tell, I do have an agenda and an outline. I don't expect you to read it. It's the intro, pick on Yen, pick on Katie, toast, and get out of the way. I shouldn't need that anymore. Okay. My third goal is try not to talk about anything touching or sentimental, because one of the things we really don't want to happen is for me to have to pull out something like this. Or put on the sunglasses to stop you guys seeing the tears, because we just don't want any crying here. So hopefully I will not have to touch any of that stuff. Phoenix is our way. Before I start picking on Yen and Katie, I'd just like to take a moment to say, never mind, let's just go to the good stuff. Just assume that you've been thanked for being here already, out here in the frozen tundra of the West, where it was 10 degrees? 10 degrees this morning. For you Europeans, that's 12 below. Kind of makes me wish you would have stuck with the marine biology that you wanted to do. It would be in Miami right now where it was 81 degrees. Surprise, Dad! We're going to have a destination wedding in the mountains where it's narrow and snowy. Yay! Poor Yen. You gotta really feel sorry for Yen. No, not because he married Katie. I know you guys were thinking that. Because with Yen, you have to feel sorry for him because I got my first impression of Yen through Katie. Katie has a way of making people sound bad, even when they're not. Take, for example, when she called me from Arizona, she had just moved to Arizona, to tell me about Yen for the first time. Hi, Dad, I met this guy. He's a really nice guy, good looking, smart. His name is Yen. It's spelled J-A-N. He's from Denmark, so it's pronounced Yen, like Japanese money. And oh, by the way, he owns a horse. Cool, from Denmark. How did you meet him? How did you meet somebody from Denmark? Well, I met him when I was living in St. Louis. St. Louis, you just left St. Louis. And now, 2 months later, you're going out with somebody from St. Louis? That doesn't make any sense. That's a 2-day drive or $400 flight. No, that's kind of crazy. So, I'm thinking, he's not too bright, is he? I mean, why would somebody wait until you leave and then decide to date you? When are you going to get to his date points? So, what does he do for a living? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I'm not sure. I think he works for the government. You think he works for the government? Like what? He rides his horse for the Pony Express? I don't know. I think he's a lobbyist. Oh, a lobbyist. So he's one of these people that's really good at arguing with people and convincing them to do things that they don't want to do. That's just what a father wants to hear. It sounds more like a con man, but obviously you picked the wrong person who wants to be a con man. You don't have any money. Anyhow, they dated for a little while, but we were actually going to meet him in person a few months later at Michelle's wedding. So we decided that let's really find out what he's all about. So we made him sit at the table with the parents, the grandparents, a couple of my best friends, my brother, and we just grilled him. One question after another, and unfortunately he passed the test with flying colors. It's like, wow, something wrong with this guy. So then we went up to one of the rooms, and we got everybody together, and you really couldn't even tell who was a new guy on the block. I mean, he just blended in with everybody, and it was like, wow, this guy's good. So, the big question was going to be, how's Katie going to screw this up? As you can see, she didn't screw this thing up, because about a year later, Yen talked to me and asked for her hand in marriage. And I'm going to actually let you guys talk to Yen about how that went. That's kind of an entertaining one too. And I know sooner or later you're going to want to get back to your motel rooms. On to Katie. Katie's a great storyteller. She doesn't take herself too seriously. She is kind of klutzy. She likes to have a lot of fun. She's a very smart person. She's well educated. She's a pretty good athlete. She's a swimmer on the team in high school for a while, our swimming team. So she played some softball and stuff. So she's, pretty coordinated, but somehow things happen to her. I don't know why, it just happens. So anyhow, Katie's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories that she can tell. And like I said, she's a great, great storyteller. And just hearing things in her voice just makes them a lot of fun to listen to. So my problem is how am I going to talk to you about any stories? Because I want her to tell the best ones. I cannot do a story justice like Katie does. So my next idea was, I'll let her tell you about anything in the top 100. I'm going on to the next grouping. So I'm going to work on the top 200 from 101 up, but too much time. So I'm going to do, like David Letterman, the top 10 that did make the top 100. Are you following it? Okay. All right. So let me turn the page on. Number 10. This could also be number 110 if you're looking at the other way around. This happened when Katie was younger. She and her sister and a couple of friends decided to make French toast for Barbie. Well, it smelled really good, looked really good. And then Barb took a bite, and a lot of weird looks on her face. And she said, Katie, did you put any salt in this? And she said, yeah. Well, we came to find out the directions called for 1/4 teaspoon. She put in 4 teaspoons. That's 16 times too much salt. Tablespoons even. Oh, see, they remember it. Number 9. Barb and Katie were going to church one Sunday morning. Katie walks into the church after Mass had just let out, and the next one was ready to come in. And she smelled the familiar smell of incense in there. And she wanted to let Barb, she's a little girl now, she wanted to let Barb know that she recognized that smell. And so she tells Barb, "Hey Mom, it smells a lot like incest in here." Of course, that was loud enough for everybody to hear. Story number 8. Barb had about a dozen co-workers over at the house. And, they've never been over before. They never met Katie. And Katie's pretty shy, or she was at that time. And she decided she was going to tell them a joke. It was kind of out of character, but she did. She finally mustered up her courage, and she said, "What do a turtle and a blonde have in common?" Nobody seemed to know, but once they're on their back, they're both screwed. Yes, this is a grade school world. Like I said, Katie's sometimes a little bit klutzy. Back in high school, she was in art class, and she was, they have those higher tables in art classes in the bar stools, and the one time she was sitting on that bar stool, and you know how you put the feet on the rungs and stuff like that on a bar stool? Well, she hooked hers around there, and then she went to get up and... And speaking of art class, they were working on pottery, I think it was, the one time. And these didn't make her top 100. She was working on pottery the one time, and she bent over, and somehow she managed to get her hair cut and just spin in the water. And of course, everybody had to come to her rescue, right in front of all her classmates. There's more. It's dark in here, it's hard to read this thing. Okay, then we had the party at Aunt Kathy's house. It was a birthday party. This is more recent. Yeah, I knew you already know where this one's going. Yeah, we're making multiple trips out. It's time to go home at the end of the party. We're making multiple trips in and out. Katie was making multiple trips out. And she's going in one last time to wish everybody a kiss over goodbye and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, bam! And she ran into the glass door that she had gone through a few times, landed in the back. Just never saw the pure glass door. Yep. No prints are still there? Yeah. By the way, no animals or Katie was seriously harmed in any of these stories. Driving. Oh my God. This is a whole chapter by itself, so we're not going to go there. Her sense of direction or lack of, her multiple accidents. But my favorite story was she was down in Florida going to school at University of Miami, and there was a hurricane there. She was driving my car, because she got to use my cars all the time. It was a high-performance car, and again, there's a hurricane coming, so there's a lot of rain and flooding going on, and she came up to an intersection that was clearly flooded, and she figured if she just floored it, went really fast, she'd get right through it. Needless to say, that didn't work. A few seconds later, my car was floating down the river, and Katie was running to her friends who were out playing football, drunk, and they were playing football, and they were trying to get some help, so needless to say, that car didn't do very well. We had a snorkeling adventure down in the Florida Keys. We had rented a boat, so we were out there. And Barb, I was just ready to get back in the water again. And Barb was going towards us in a straight line right at the boat. And a very steady pace. And I go, "What's wrong?" "Oh." She goes, "Well, I just saw a big fish over there, and I don't like it." "Okay." I go, "Where?" She goes, "Over there by Katie." I go, okay, so I thought I'd go over there too. So I start swimming out by Katie. Then all of a sudden, under the water, I hear it's under the water, and here comes Katie, who's blonde, just making a wake coming right past me. It's like, "Goodbye, Dad, it's every man for himself," and I'm getting out of here. She jumps out of the water. I don't think she even touched the ladder, and I'm just sitting there, just too scared to move, and it turns out I did get out of the water and live, but she's like looking back and saying, "Too bad, Dad." It was a barracuda, by the way. So she had reason to scream. The number 2 story, we'll call it 102. I'd actually rather have you hear in Katie's words. Katie made a lot of phone calls to us during school, and she left messages sometimes when we refused to answer them. Number 2, please.
You have 74 messages. Hi, it's me. Just wanted to tell you that there's a tornado coming. And so I just wanted to say bye. You're right in my bathroom. Still here. Bye.
Okay, I don't know if you heard, did you catch all that? There's a tornado coming. Hi, it's B. I just want to tell you that there's a tornado coming. Just want to say goodbye. I'll be in the bathroom. See you later. And my number one favorite story is another Katie voicemail message that this one you have to listen to even more carefully because it's just not as loud and it's a little bit garbled, but try to. I'll try to repeat it if I can read it, but you just can't get the tone of voice from Katie, but just try to get it, see if you can get it. Go ahead.
28/2010 at 6:47 p.m. Dad, where are you? What's up? I got you some of these kilos and I need someone to feel sorry for me. It was a big deal, four-person deal, and I could be certain that it has pressure people all thinking what you're at. I'm so sad.
Okay, I don't know if you're able to hear that. We didn't have time to really clean up the video. But let's, I'll read it for you here. Dad, where are you? Or Mom, I got hit in the head with a ski lift. It was a big four-person steel ski lift, and hit me square in the side of the head in front of 30 people all screaming, "Watch your head!" I'm so embarrassed. Call me. Okay, I'd like to get serious for a minute here, just for a second. And thank all of you for taking the time to adjust your schedules, make a trip out here. I know a trip of this magnitude was not easy for a lot of you, so it's really, truly appreciated. I'd also like to thank Inga for raising, where is she? Oh, okay, for raising such a fine young man. Yen is really a good guy, thank you. And also thank you for that wonderful party last night that you hosted. That was really fun. Yen, thank you for first asking me my daughter's hands, and thank you also for just coming into our life and making that move to go ahead and ask her out once you moved to Arizona. A little bit, but you did, and it worked out well. Thank you very much. Barb, I'd like to thank you for being such a wonderful mother, raising both of those kids. And Katie, roll three. Katie, I'd like to thank you for letting me go through all these wonderful dad moments. I loved you from the very first moment I saw you. Let's go on with the rest of this speech. The very first moment I saw you and held you, I fell in love with you. And you are the reason that I wanted a second daughter. You are the reason that I'm really thrilled with Katie. Joe mentioned that she's got a daughter coming, and I just love you so much. So, if all of you would raise your glasses, please. I'd like to officially welcome Yen into the Knucklesberger family. So, Katie and Yen, may your marriage serve as an example to others of what happily ever after should look like. Thank you.
I was going to say thanks for keeping it under 20